Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we have a new month of story mode fragment farming because it's rolled over to the December characters. And this month, I gotta admit, has to be one of the worst. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. It's already been updated on the mega guides, which you can find down below in the description of every single video. There's really not that much to say about this month's characters that are chosen and non-chosen. There are a couple of highlights here and there, but generally speaking, what's more frustrating is the setup and sort of the organization, right? The list of characters in the missions and who comes first, which makes an autoplay team for this month very difficult, basically impossible to do one good autoplay team. As far as characters who are chosen more than twice, which is sort of the benchmark for a lot, we only have 2 this month. We have Iceman, which kind of sucks if you didn't pick up that seasonal uniform. Sucks a lot if you didn't pick up the seasonal uniform. And then Valkyrie, who is very good. So one really good option, one really bad character there. Everybody else is just featured 1 or 2 times, and there's just a lot of characters to choose from. Not a lot of native tier 2/ native tier 3s, like no Thanos, no Odin, no Mephisto, no Null. Maybe Sentry is chosen once, but otherwise he's not. Yeah, Sentry's just once. So not a lot of expensive characters, no Molecule Man, but otherwise just a lot of characters getting a once over for this list. Also, Toxin appears for the first time ever, and I believe Morgan Le Fay also appears for the first time ever. So they're beginning to show a pattern of putting in new tier 3s right after they're added to the game, which can give more pressure to players to sort of keep up with things if they want to collect all of the fragments. And especially for Morgan, 8-2 is a very crucial mission that you want to be collecting fragments for. Toxin's case, 3-2 is not as important, but still important. So yeah. What I want to spend the rest of the video today talking about, however, is the teams. I mentioned it briefly, but basically the teams for this month are very difficult to construct. So what am I talking about? You're basically trying to build a team that when you press this button and you press that button and you press start, that you can just auto all the way through on all 4 sets of missions. You have the Dimensional Clash, the True Shield, the All War, and the Future Ends Here. However, it's basically impossible this month. I challenge you, unless you have some really bad characters with really good builds, it's impossible. Because this month, okay, not only do we have Iceman, so Iceman is here. It's not on 2-3. Where is he? 2-2. Iceman is here. He appears 3 times, and he appears as a leadership at least once. So if you don't have Iceman's uniform, he is so much worse without his uniform that you may be forced to put him in either the left or the right slot. So Iceman is the first problem. However, if you have his uniform, he actually helps you on a later stage, so you can put him as the leadership, okay? But I've actually designed 2 teams, and I'll sort of go through and explain why. This team right here that I'm using, Iceman, Nadia, and Angela, this is my team for the other missions, for the True Shield, the All War, and the Future Ends Here. For the Dimensional Clash, I use a completely different team. I use this team right here, Corvus lead with Vulture and Elsa on the sides. And why I do that is because, as you're going to see, otherwise you're screwed on this stage. You're unless you build your Sandman and you stack Sandman, he can't complete this stage. So, and of course, if Sandman can't complete it, Caecilius can't complete it. He's even worse than Sandman. So you're stuck using Corvus lead. However, Corvus doesn't really help you on any other stages, so that's why you need to construct 2 teams. So this is the team here that I'm going to use only for the Dimensional Clash. So Corvus helps you out on 3-3. Then if you go ahead to 5-1, you have another problem with Scourge here. Scourge can clear it. My Scourge can clear it. So this one I think is doable, but this is technically a problem if you don't have Corvus, or you don't have Vulture or whatever. This stage can be a problem. What's more of a problem is here on 7-1. You have Elsa. Again, they put so many bad characters in the lead spot that it's really frustrating. Elsa cannot clear this stage for me. She died when she got to the dual boss, Green Goblin and Bullseye. Bullseye and Green Goblin. She died on that dual boss. So I'm forced to put Elsa here for just one single stage. So right now, okay, we have Corvus and we have Elsa there, and then you have Vulture. Actually, maybe we don't need Vulture anymore. Vulture is in the lead here for this stage, 4-1. I actually didn't test if Vulture can clear the stage. It's possible that Vulture can clear this stage. If so, you could construct, you know, you could maybe get away with something like putting Angela where Vulture is, and you could maybe put together some kind of hodgepodge team. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, this is the team that I think is the best. Vulture on the left, Elsa on the right, Corvus in the middle for the dimensional clash. However, it doesn't work as you move forward because the True Shield is fine. All of the lead characters are great. She-Hulk, wow, Deadpool, can't speak today. She-Hulk, Deadpool, Iron Man, and Beta Ray Bill, those are all fine. But once you get to the All War, right here on 12-1, you have Angela. She cannot do the stage. She's going to die. So you're forced to put Angela on the left or the right. So either I mean, you could put Angela here instead of putting Vulture. So you're covered for this stage, and then Hyperion will take over. That's true. But then you're going to be screwed here on 13-2. Because 13-1 is fine with Human Torch, but then 13-2 you have Nadia. So there's really no clean way of doing this unless you build your Sandman really stacked and you build either Vulture or like Sandman and Vulture or Sandman and Angela, something like that. Like you have to like super stack one of those characters. Otherwise, you have to make up 2 teams. So that's why I made up 2 teams. So on this team here, so that's why I was able to put Vulture here instead of Angela, because I have Angela set up for this team, okay, to run me through the other missions. So having Angela on the right side means that she's not going to be the leadership on 12-2, which means Hyperion can clear that stage, easy peasy. And then putting Iceman as the lead here makes sure that Nadia is not the lead, because Nadia is going to die on 12-2. However, if you don't have Iceman's uniform, you can still copy these teams. Just don't put Iceman lead. Put somebody else that's very strong. Because in that case, if you don't have if you have Iceman tier 3, but you don't have his uniform, then you have to put Loki lead. That creates a whole other problem. If you don't have Iceman at all, then you can just put somebody strong like Human Torch. However, if you put Loki here, which I think a lot of players are going to be tempted to do, the problem with that is Loki then becomes your leadership for this stage right here, 12-1. And Loki doesn't do any elemental damage anymore with his new uniforms. So it's so frustrating this week. It's so frustrating. They really made some really stupid decisions with how they organized the characters. And yeah, I mean, if you just moved Angela over one and then had Hyperion there, it would solve so many problems. So that's basically how it breaks down. And so because of that, you have a situation where you really have to think through your teams and pay attention. Like I said, it really depends on whether it depends on multiple things, but if you have all of these terrible characters transcended, like Vulture, Angela, Nadia, Scourge, Sandman, Caecilius, then you're going to need to build 2 teams for sure. And then it really just boils down to whether you have Iceman's uniform or not. Honestly, at that point, if you don't have Iceman's uniform and you don't have him tier 3, then you could try running him with the old uniform at tier 3. But if you don't have either, I wouldn't recommend putting Loki in the lead. I would recommend putting somebody else and just eating the 25% loss on the fragments here, because you're not running Iceman when you could be running Iceman. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Otherwise, yeah, just go with those 2 teams. Like I said, the first team that I showed you is what I use for what is going on. The first team that I showed you is for this is my Dimensional Clash team. Only thing I would do is maybe swap Angela for Vulture. And then this is my team for the other missions there. And I'm just going to have to do this for the full month and not forget so that I don't accidentally lose. But yeah, I'll do some testing. Maybe Sandman can do that stage and I can swap out Corvus. Because really, if Sandman can do that stage, then it opens up the leadership for somebody else. But again, I wasn't going to come into the video and tell you, hey guys, build up your Sandman right now. I haven't had time to test it, and I don't know if even fully built, if Sandman could even do it. And again, even if he could do it, I don't know if actually players would want to do that, right? Like, I have the resources to do that, but maybe you don't, and that's totally fine. So if you don't have the resources to do that, just go with these 2 teams here. This will get you through all of the missions. Just remember, the first one is just for Dimensional Clash, those first 20 missions. And then this one is just for the other 11 missions, the True, Shield, All War, and the Future Ends here. So yeah, happy farming. Good luck with that. Hopefully you get double fragments every day for every single run. And yeah, that's the story mode. It is what it is. Still an excellent, amazing source of tier 3 materials and bios. Hopefully we'll see an additional chapter added soon so that we can start farming tier 4 materials in story mode. I think that'd be fantastic, but I'm not holding my breath out for that just yet. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.